Hey everyone, I'm Karan from Enable, and welcome back to the official video tutorial series on AbleSet. So your set list is all set up, now let's actually use AbleSet for playback. Okay, let's dive right in. So there's a few keyboard shortcuts already mapped so you can get started without any external controller. As I showed you before, the spacebar is your play and pause button. You can jump to the next song with your right arrow keys and jump to the previous song with your left arrow keys. If you've got AbleSet and Ableton open side by side like this, just make sure that the AbleSet window is active for these keyboard shortcuts to actually work. Thanks to AbleSet's convenient auto stopping and auto jumping, this is actually all you need to take it to the stage. But there's a few more options to let you customize AbleSet's playback behavior and navigation behavior, so let me just talk you through them in the settings. You can open the settings up here from the menu bar, or just with the menu in the AbleSet window down here. This menu extends to show me all the options as soon as I make the AbleSet window larger. The settings we're going to focus on for now are these playback related settings. With Autoplay enabled, AbleSet will start a song right away as soon as you select it in the set list. This can be a cool workflow for triggering songs quickly, but keep in mind that it's also easier to trigger the wrong song by mistake, so that's why we generally recommend to keep this disabled. But just try it out for yourself and see what feels best to you. In the setlist edit view, we already looked at how you can modify whether you'd like the playhead to stay at the end of a song or already cue the next one. You can globally toggle this behavior by setting on and off the auto jump to the next song setting. Disabling this could be useful if your songs have an automation or MIDI CC message at the start that you want to avoid being triggered automatically. But again, the default on setting is probably best for most setups, especially since you can always change it on a per song basis in the setlist editor. Similarly, if you're never going to use continuous playback for a transition between two songs, you could set this globally by activating the always stop at the end of songs setting. Keep in mind though that this will entirely override the individual stop after song setting in the setlist mode. This is why I'm also going to keep this off for now. AbleSet's default behavior when jumping to a previous song is similar to how most media players work. If I just go back into the setlist and I play this song, and now I press this button to jump back, AbleSet will actually restart the same song. If you prefer a different behavior, you can go back into the settings and disable restart song before jumping back. And now if I do the same thing, AbleSet will now actually jump to the previous song. Okay, the next one is relevant for retriggering. So if I just start this song from the top, and then I decide to pause it, if I now press play again, it will actually continue playing from the same point where I paused it. If I want to change this behavior, I can go back into the settings and choose stop by default instead of pausing. Now if I do the same thing, start the song from the top, press play. Now once I press stop, AbleSet will actually go back to the song start, and you'll see that the play button is not glowing anymore, so if I press play now, it will start the song from the top. If you're not sure whether you prefer stopping or pausing, there's actually a way to get the best of both worlds using MIDI mapping. Stick around for the rest of the video to see that. Okay, there's one more setting I want to show you. We'll ignore these loop and jump related settings for now, but let's talk about safe mode for a second. In my opinion, this is a really great feature to have enabled. You'll have noticed that when I click the next or previous song button while playback is active, AbleSet will interrupt the current song and just jump to the next song. Now, you might not want this since in most performance scenarios, you typically wouldn't have such a hard cut between songs. With safe mode enabled, AbleSet will only allow jumping back and forth between songs when playback is not active. On top of that, safe mode will require you to click the stop button twice to confirm you actually want to stop playback. This way, AbleSet acts as a safeguard against accidental jumping or stopping. Okay, cool. So you can now customize AbleSet's playback to your liking. Next, let's check out MIDI mapping. You'll find MIDI mapping in the settings down here. Most musicians and playback operators prefer to have a hardware MIDI controller for playback control. So AbleSet offers a really powerful built-in MIDI mapping feature, just like you might know from Ableton Live itself. When I click into Edit MIDI Mapping, AbleSet will actually show me a list of all connected MIDI controllers, and I can then just go ahead and hook up the MIDI controller I want to use, and AbleSet will recognize it right away. MIDI mappings can be device-specific or global, so AbleSet will react to them regardless of which MIDI input they're coming from. In my case, I'd like to only control AbleSet from my Launchpad Mini right here, so to add a new mapping for the Launchpad, I'll just click this plus icon right here, and then I press the button, and AbleSet will automatically create a new mapping right here. I can now select what this MIDI message does in this dropdown. As you can see, there's many functions to choose from, and it gets even more extensive when using custom OSC commands and custom scripts. We'll cover those in a later video for some advanced workflows, but for now, let's focus on the main ones. I'm gonna map this button for play, then I'm gonna learn another MIDI mapping map that to pause, and a third one, and just map it to the stop button. It's also possible to map play and stop from a single button so you get a spacebar-like behavior, but personally I just like to have them separate. Being able to jump to the next song and the previous song is also really useful, so I'm just going to set those up as well. Next song and previous song commands will be ignored while playing back with safe mode enabled, but the stop button is not protected by a double press. But if you like, you can set it up manually by changing the button type. Just click over here where it says press, and I get the options for double press or hold. This can be used for any MIDI mapping and is great for preventing accidental triggering. Once you're done mapping your MIDI controller, exit the settings by simply clicking your setlist name up here, or use the back button in your browser. Okay, looks like we're ready to play a show, but one last sneak peek I want to give you before we continue is Performance View. I can open it from up here, and this is a more focused view which displays the most relevant information while playing a show, as well as offering larger playback buttons. The Performance View is highly customizable and has a ton of options, so we'll dedicate an entire video to it later in the series. So we've got remote controlling with MIDI set up, but in the next video we'll highlight one of the defining features of AbleSet, which is actually remote controlling it from a device on the network like your phone or tablet. So definitely stick around to see that, and head over to ableset.com to get your copy of AbleSet. Also, check out Enable for more tips on playback in Ableton Live. Please leave us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.